In the biggest voter turnout for Israel since 1999, things are looking good for the right-wing bloc in the Knesset. We're going to talk about that and break down what all the parties received in the elections yesterday. An Arab man was arrested for attempting to kidnap an Israeli woman. An IDF officer was injured in a ramming attack near Modain. And the security guard who was injured in a terrorist attack last month, thank God, recovered consciousness yesterday. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. Hello and welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell so that you never miss any of the episodes of the Israel Guys that we're bringing to you. We're making now 3 videos a week every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you never want to miss any of those videos if you want to keep up with the news of what's coming out of Israel, the true news. For those of you who don't know, the Israel Guys is a side branch of actually an organization called Hayovel. Basically, we bring volunteers from all over the world to Israel, specifically to the biblical heartland, to Judea and Samaria, to volunteer to help the small independent farmers here who are struggling here in Israel. We do agricultural projects, all kinds of things. Next month in December, we have a 2-week tour/volunteer trip called the Heartland Experience. This 2-week Israel trip combines both touring and volunteering for an unforgettable adventure that will connect you to the land of Israel for life. This trip will change your life. You'll get to travel throughout central Israel, visiting the key sites in Judea, Samaria, and Jerusalem. Instead of the normal tours, like you go on a 10-day tour, instead of just hopping on and off the buses and going to see all the places of the, just going to tour, with this trip, you'll be able to actually make a real difference in Israel, because every place that you go to, you'll be able to not just tour and see the sites, but also do a volunteer project like planting trees, helping on farms, and maybe even sometimes participating in archaeological digs. You'll also get to meet some of Israel's most incredible pioneers, hear from dynamic speakers, and forge friendships with your fellow trip members who are here on the trip. The Heartland Experience is different from our other volunteer projects, from our other volunteer trips. We have a lot of different trips because this one's different because it actually has a pre-planned itinerary, more touring than the other trips, as well as several nights stay in a hotel. Go to serveisrael.com to sign up for the Heartland Experience. The deadline is coming up soon. You do not want to miss this unforgettable trip. So, Israeli elections were yesterday. What on earth is going on? What are the elections looking like right now? So they're saying that the turnout for the elections yesterday, that more Israelis voted in this election than all the elections for the past few years. It's the highest voter turnout since 1999, which is incredible. I guess Israelis are fed up with the last 3 years of not having a government at all, or of having a weak government, and then of not having a government at all, just having an interim prime minister. So, as of 10:44 this morning, this is the latest data that we have, 10:44 Israel time this morning, 85% of the votes have been counted for the elections. The data is being constantly updated on all the news sites here in Israel, but they're getting that from the official website of the Central Elections Committee. You can keep an eye on that website as well as all the news sources. Also on our different pages, we'll be posting about the election results. But as of right now, as I said, 85% of the votes have been counted, and things are looking pretty good for the right-wing bloc. I'm gonna give a breakdown of what all the parties in the Knesset would receive with this vote, what they're looking like right now. So, what is the main obvious? The top party is Likud, headed by former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. With 85% of the votes counted, they received 23.24% of the votes, which would give them 31 seats, by far the biggest party in the Knesset. Second under Likud would be Yesh Atid, headed by the current Prime Minister Yair Lapid, and they would receive 24 seats. After that, and this is incredible, the Religious Zionist Party is the third largest party in the Knesset. They received 14 seats. These guys are very pro-Judea and Samaria, pro the biblical heartland, very far right. These guys are great. After the Religious Zionist Party would be the National Unity Party, which is headed by Benny Gantz, the defense minister, and they would receive 12 seats. After that would be the Sha'az Party. They would receive 12 seats. They're also a very right-wing party, would be part of Benjamin Netanyahu's party. After that would be the United Torah Judaism, also a far right-wing party. They would receive 8 seats. After that would be the United Arab List, just the Ra'am party. They would receive 5 seats. After that, Yisrael Beitenu, which is headed by Avigdor Lieberman, and he's the whole reason why this government fell apart in the first place. Nearly 3 years ago, he was in the Bibi Netanyahu government, and he got tired of Bibi, so he left the government, and the whole thing fell apart, and there has not been a strong government for 3 years. After that would be the Hadash Ta'al party. They would receive also 5 seats. After that would be Labor, which... It's kind of interesting right now. A lot of the left-wing parties, which used to be pretty big and prominent, they're not getting many votes. Like even Labor, they're only receiving 4 seats. And then Me'eretz, which is a far left-wing party, it's very doubtful whether they're going to cross the electoral threshold right now. You need 3.25% of the votes, the votes to be able to cross the electoral threshold to be even to make it into the Knesset. And Meretz right now, with 85% of the votes being counted, has 3.20%. So it's really 50. I don't know. It's doubtful if they're going to make it in the Knesset, let's just say. After that, the Balad Party, which is another Arab party, thankfully did not make it into it. They did not cross the electoral threshold. And then also the Jewish Home Party, which is headed by Ayelet Shaked, formerly by Naftali Bennett. They also did not pass the threshold. They only got 1.17% of the votes, only 80,000 votes. But I saw some people were saying that it's a good thing that Jewish Home was running because they took away a lot of the votes that could have been going to the Arab parties or the left parties, and they could have crossed the threshold if they weren't in. So it's even though they didn't make it, they still did their job here. So with all this being said, with 85% of the votes being counted, it's looking like Benjamin Netanyahu will be the next prime minister of Israel. He's the head of the Likud party, and he's planning to form a coalition with religious Zionists, 14 seats. Likud has 31, so that would put them up to 45. And then with Sha'az, that would put them up to 57. And then United Torah Judaism, that would put them up to 65 seats, which would be more than enough for them to form a coalition and to actually have a strong right-wing government in the Knesset. So, moving on with some other news that's going on in Israel today. An Arab man was arrested yesterday for attempting to actually kidnap an Israeli woman. So this occurred Tuesday afternoon in the Israeli city of Tiberias when the suspect tried to force a young woman into his car. As you can see in the video, we'll play a video here. The woman was thankfully able to escape. The guy grabbed her and tried to push her into the car, but she was able to pull away from him. She fell down and then ran off. Thankfully, she was able to escape. Officers were dispatched to the area and apprehended the suspect. He's been identified as a 51-year-old resident of the Israeli Arab town of Jaffa and Nasiriyah, which is up in the Galilee. Police are saying that they suspect that the kidnapping was terror-related. Hadass, who was the woman, recounted the traumatic experience in an interview with Channel 12 News. She said, quote, "I was walking on the street without a care. When I passed the car, he just opened the back door and pushed me from his side towards the car." The police said that at the moment, the initial suspicion is that it's a kidnapping attempt with a nationalist background. Also, the investigation shows that the suspect had a car with a fake license plate, and he tried to get the young woman into the car without exchanging a word. Thank God that she was able to escape from this man, and that it could have been worse. Thankfully, she was able to escape from this incident. So just today, an IDF officer was injured in a terrorist ramming attack near Modi'in. The incident occurred on Route 443, one of the 2 major highways connecting Jerusalem and the coastal plain, when a vehicle rammed into the Maccabim checkpoint It's just outside of Modi'in, and unfortunately injured a 20-year-old IDF officer who was standing on duty at the checkpoint. After ramming the victim with a van, the terrorist exited the vehicle and actually attempted to attack the soldier with an axe that he had. But thankfully, the soldier who was injured was able to pull out his gun and shoot and neutralize the terrorist. The victim is listed in serious condition right now. They said he has injuries to his lower body. An IDF spokesperson confirmed the attack in a statement. He said, quote, "Following the initial report regarding a ramming attack on the Macamim checkpoint, an assailant arrived at the checkpoint a short while ago and ran over an IDF officer. The assailant exited his vehicle in order to attack the officer with an axe, who fired at the assailant and neutralized him. The officer was severely injured and was evacuated to a hospital for further medical treatment. The family of the officer has been notified." Thankfully, that he wasn't injured worse than he was, but continue to pray for his complete recovery and that he'll be fine from these wounds that he has suffered. Thank God. In some good news, the security guard who was injured in a terrorist attack last month, just yesterday, recovered consciousness. So the Hadassah and Kerem Hospital, which is in Jerusalem, announced just yesterday that the condition of David Morale, he was the security guard who suffered severe injuries in a terror attack near the Shuafat checkpoint, which is outside of Jerusalem. He has improved conditions. So thanks to Hadassah's neurosurgery team, who has been working constantly to further improve his condition, David is returning to consciousness. The neurosurgery director said, quote, "David is slowly coming back into consciousness. He still has a long way of treatment to go, but we are happy with how far he has come up until now." So as I said, David was injured when a terrorist opened fire at the Shuafat checkpoint. This was the same attack, when unfortunately 18-year-old IDF Sergeant Noah Lazar was killed in the attack. Thank God that David is recovering. Continue to pray for his full recovery and that he'll continue to recover, as well as the other IDF soldier who was injured today in the terrorist ramming attack near Modi'in. Guys, don't make sure to check out the Heartland Experience. Go to serveisrael.com to check out this unforgettable trip. The deadline to sign up is coming soon, so you do not want to miss out on this experience. Let us know what you think in the comments below about all this with the elections that are happening. Also, the U.S. elections are coming up soon. Make sure to tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening in the land of Israel. We'll be back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.